Hey guys, Dave here. I've done this video before, but I'm going to do it again because it is well worthwhile making some Salisbury steak in gravy with onions and mushrooms. Incredibly delicious. You are going to love it. So let me show you how to do this and let's get started. Okay guys, the first thing we're going to do is grab up a couple of pounds of medium ground beef and simply throw this into a mixing bowl. Then I'm going to use my handy dandy chopper thingy and chop up about 3 cloves of garlic. Just guts to have my garlic. Go ahead and add this in over top of the beef, and of course you can use more garlic if you like. Throw in a few cracks of salt, I'd say about a teaspoon. Another teaspoon or 2 of ground black pepper. Incidentally, if you don't already have a pepper grinder, they are well worth getting. Just something nicer about the ground pepper. A couple of tablespoons of my old friend Worcester sauce. A couple of teaspoons of Italian seasoning, my good old standby. Then about half a teaspoon of prepared mustard, that just adds a little bit of tardiness. A couple of tablespoons of good old plain ketchup, you know, Heinz 57 style. And last but not least, a lonely single egg to bind everything together. Then I'm going to use my favorite cooking utensil, my hands, and just mix everything together until a nice kind of meatloaf ball forms. And I know we're not making meatloaf, we're making Salisbury steak, but I don't know why, that just came to mind. I've said this before, but I'll say it again, guys. This is my go-to recipe. I use it for everything: meatballs, spaghetti, meatloaf even, just about everything you can possibly think of that's hamburger-based. Now I'm going to grab up a 1 cup measuring device and kind of put the ground beef in there, into the palm of my hand. And you guessed it, we're going to form a patty out of this. So this is about, a 1 cup patty, I call it. So it ends up something like this. This is just about perfecto. And then set these onto a plate lined with some parchment paper. Then what I usually do is take a flipper and just make some fancy-dancy indentations in them. Alrighty then, oil into a pan over medium-high heat. Slip those patties in because it is fry time. And we are just simply going to fry these up for a few minutes until they are beautifully cooked through. And of course, midway, you're going to grab up the old flipper and give them a flip over. But don't these look spectacular? Okay, after they is done, let's grab them up and we're just going to set these aside. But again, I could just eat these just the way they are, my friends. Okay, now for stage 2. Let's grab up an onion and slice it up. Followed by a few button mushrooms. You know, you can use shiitake too, but I just like the button. And I suppose I use, 8 or 10 of these, something like that. Now, a good knob of butter, about a tablespoon, into the same pan as we fried those burgers in. Of course, let it melt down and kind of deglaze that pan because there's still yummy stuff from where we fried the burgers. Now, in with those mushrooms, along with those chopped up onions. And we'll just fry these up until those onions become kind of translucent and basically cooked through, and those mushrooms begin to sweat. Something like this. This is about getting to perfection. And I must say, smelling likewise. Next up, in with a tablespoon of all-purpose flour. And just kind of sprinkle this around so it's evenly distributed. And just stir and have some fun until that flour coats everything. Then in with about 1.5 cups of beef broth. A little bit more Worcestershire sauce. And you probably guessed it, we're just going to stir this around until a nice gravy forms. Isn't this looking spectacular, guys? I must like that word, spectacular. But just look at this. Oh, ever so good. Of course, we're going to grab those burgers that have been ever so patiently waiting and put them into that gravy. Now you kind of get the picture here, I guess. Spoon that ever so delicious sauce over the top. I shouldn't say sauce, it's actually gravy. Oh, but this is looking great. Well, gravy is a sauce, isn't it? I don't know. Bring this to a boil and let it simmer away for 4 or 5 minutes. Then just go ahead and chop up some fresh parsley, fresh from the garden. Sprinkle it over the top just to make it all pretty like. And that's pretty much it, guys. That is our Salisbury steak. Pretty simple, pretty easy, and so delicious. And you bite into this, guys. What comes to mind? Heavenly, divine, all kinds of adjectives like this. But it is so good, dipped in that gravy. Oh my goodness. You are going to love this. So are your friends and family. And I'm thinking, serve this up with some mashed taters, even some rice with some veggies on the side, or even a salad. Oh, it would be just great. Simply a must make. And if you do make it, of course, leave us a comment. And if you're so inclined, give us a like because it does help the channel out. And most of all, subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe and see you next time.